Alright. Let's see.
From this moment on, I don't know what to do.
There we go. I'm just gonna be putting in the Discord announcement and then I'll be streaming. I'm just, yeah, a little bit slow today. Alright. Oh, what's up? Let me close a bunch of things here. Yeah. I always feel like I gotta clean up my taskbar up here because there's like so much stuff open that I don't need. So whenever I start streaming, I'm just like, you know? I'm like, what the heck? So much stuff open that I don't need. Anyway, yeah, what's up? Have I heard Geoxer's preview for his unreleased track? I don't know who that is, and I don't know anything. Is it good? Is it good music? I have no idea. I'm gonna wait for some people to get in here, and then I'll probably start messing around. Would you like me to send it to you? Yeah, you can come in my Discord and just hit me up there. I currently don't want to listen to music because I'm doing a little walkthrough here. Like, I've been requested to walk someone through some drum synthesis stuff, so I figured might as well turn it into a live stream and give other people the opportunity to see what I do. But yeah, you can send me anything on Discord and I will check it out eventually. I just, I'm a little bit inconsistent with checking things out because I am kind of just overwhelmed. There's always so much stuff that I have to do. So many people I have to talk to. Crazy. Oh yeah, I love when I watch myself on Twitch. Oh yeah, I'm streaming something into the internet and then Twitch streams it back to me. I love seeing... it's just... Why is this even here? I know it's when other people try to manage your stream, like when you got other people managing the stream for you, then sure. I'm just not that big, so I wish I could disable that. I guess this works. But it doesn't really... I wish I had like a chat like all across the thing, I don't know. But who cares? So yeah. I'm currently wondering if I should keep the music on while I do this, because to be honest, it might be a little less boring then. And maybe I should... you're blocked from joining, that's weird. What's your Discord name? I can see if you're banned. I wouldn't know why you're... Oh, you're here now, okay, good. I see you. I see you. Gecko, Future Bass Gang. Yeah, feel free to just promote your music in here or send it to me or anything. Like, the thing is, if you're in this Discord, then you'll be able to private message me, so whenever you want to send me, like, anything, you can just go for it. I'm always open to stuff, even if I don't always check it out, because, like I said, I'm just kind of lazy. Ah! That was pretty loud. I'm just kind of lazy when it comes to stuff, because I work all the time. I'm working, like, 24/7. I'm just really passionate about it. We started a little sample pack company called Squad Pack, and we'll be releasing a lot of music and sample packs and whatever. So if you want to check that out, it's over here. And I just finished working on our upcoming pack, which I have right here. Let me open it up. Got some kicks here. Let me turn up the volume here. Wait, I'm gonna mute myself. Yeah, that's our samples. Let me see, why does it keep doing this? It's so... Okay, so like that. Just some kicks that I did. And those kicks were actually built from me hitting random household objects and just kind of creating boomy sounds with them. Like I recorded them into a mic and then I processed them a little bit to get these sounds. And yeah, so we'll be releasing a bunch of sample packs on there. And that's also why I'm here with Hammer, and we're going to be synthesizing a bunch of drums so that I can use them for our packs. Okay, so I'm actually waiting for Lily to join the stream because she's the person that requested specifically that I do this, but I can just, you know, start. Was that the computer case bass drum? Yes, it was. Yes, indeed. That was the computer case. So like, these are randomized, so I can't really tell you which one is which. But these are definitely made from computer cases. So if I go into I have like a recording folder here where I have all of my stuff. And, well, there are like different things that I've recorded. But this one is, I think this one is the computer. So let me play the computer. So these are the source sounds that we had, and then I processed them. There are different things. I think Metal Drum might be the computer, actually. Yep, that's a computer. So that's me hitting an old computer and recording it. So that's what we built the bass drums out of, a frickin' computer. There's a lot of source material there still to use in the future. So that's very fun and very interesting. I feel like that might be an interesting stream to make one day. Just like show the process of making these samples. But yeah, so a bit of an intro to what I want to do with these streams. I'm not sure what to call these, but I kind of want to call them like creative streams or something like that. And I think that for each creative stream, I should come up with like a dumb challenge or something dumb that I would just usually not do. Like, you know, when I get into the studio and I like try to create something personally just for me, then I kind of have no restrictions. But if we make up a bunch of nonsensical restrictions, like, okay, you gotta make a song from just using a plastic bowl or something like that, or you gotta make a commercial advertising song or something like that, you know, then that could be very fun, a very fun way to, you know, stream production. Because I realized if I'm just producing with no aim, then I'm kind of unmotivated and the streams don't come out as good as I want them to. So yeah. I guess we should figure out, like in future streams we could probably figure out things that people want to see. Like I'll just ask people what kind of nonsensical challenge I should be doing next time, and then we'll do these. Not sure how to make like a submission portal for these, but maybe just like a Discord channel where I just like let people submit ideas and I'll like see if I like them or not. But yeah, this stream is all about drum machines, but not like actual drum machines. We're gonna try to build our own drum machine just from Hammer or whatever things that I want to do in post-processing. I'm still waiting for Lily to get online, so I'm not really sure. Let's see, Agger, let's see. And I start yet. But yeah, the whole premise here, I'm not sure about the legality of sampling actual drum machines like 707, 808s, 909s, if that's actually like allowed. Like I'm not sure if I can just go ahead and, you know, sample these drums. Like I don't know. So I kind of want to build my own repository of these drum machines sort of sounds, so that if I want to sample drum machines, then I have my own selection of these types of sounds with that character. So we'll see how that goes. I've never actually attempted doing this. I am quite capable of synthesizing drums, so I'm not really too worried, but never attempted doing this specifically. The idea actually came up last night during a call where I was asked if you can make any drum with Hammer, and I said yes, definitely. You can make whatever you want. And now I gotta put that theory to the test. I didn't think I would get tested quite that quickly, but here we are. So yeah. This is just Hammer. There's nothing going on here. So I've loaded in a little white noise patch here. I'm going to try and keep the sound free of like resynthesis. So, like, you can just open up Hammer, right, and you just go to image, and then you just drag a sample in, right, and then wow. But I don't want to do that. I want to make sure that what I'm doing is actually like original. So here, a little white noise sample. It's not a sample. It's just a little white noise patch, rather, that I can start with. But yeah, actually, Hammer gives me a little more flexibility with how I want to shape the noise, which is why I've loaded this up. So you can see like the way the white noise functions in Hammer is I have a saw here. Well, it should be like a saw wave, but it's like there's a bunch of stuff going on here in the processing and in the you got like this prism and you got this unison pitch, but it is a saw wave. So you're gonna notice how like no matter what key I press here, it's always playing the same. Is it an E? I think it's an E. That's actually a C. Whoops. Perfect pitch in action right here. So you got, this is not changing the pitch at all, no matter what key I play, and that's because I have actually gone ahead and mapped the keyboard to the pitch. So like, if I play higher notes, then the pitch is actually being turned down proportionally to what note I'm playing. So that means I can get a totally flat timbre. If I reset this, then Hammer operates as usual, but if I do this, then you see like, it's kind of mapped in a way that the higher the note is, the lower the pitch gets, and the lower the note is, the higher the pitch gets, and it always just lands on the C5, so... Now, why would anybody do this? This is, what happens if you invert the curve, then it just gets a wider range. So, for example, if I have like a C... Now we've effectively mapped Hammer to a new scale, so... Might be interesting to make music with that. C major chord, C minor chord. So yeah, not very pretty, but we're doing the opposite of that. We just want like that. The reason we want that is so that when we increase the unison, right? We can get a very clean noise sample. You could build new tuning systems with it, absolutely. That could be a stream on its own. Yo, what's up? We're just doing some creative production. We're trying to make some drum machine stuff. Trying to make some drums. Yeah, this is just something new that I wanted to try. Anyway, so the unison here is what makes the noise. Because what actually happens is that the unison is turned up to such extreme levels that essentially just results in pure noise. Like if I want to pull up like an EQ here, and then I can show like... So that's just a saw, but then the more voices we add is like the more random it gets. And if you look at noise, like just the 3x oscillator white noise, you can see that it's kind of just a random it's just random harmonics next to each other. We can get a very similar kind of sound from doing this in Hammer. So yeah, I'll be using that as a starting point. So we'll see. I'm trying to get like a bit of a transient going. Now the issue with this specific patch is white noise is always randomized, and I think it would be possible to like... No, it's not possible. So like every time I do this, it's going to be slightly different, and that's kind of a problem for drum hits. So one thing I might try is I might try to, you know, resample this. There's also the option if I could like go in here and like just randomly go up and down with these. And you'll see up there in the timbre menu, this is going to get a lot more spiky, a lot more random looking. And the purpose of that is to get rid of this very crispy, crunchy high end. So I could actually start over here. So like this, this causes some of the randomness that we're hearing in the white noise actually. So like the more random these are, the better. The problem is making things random is actually pretty difficult for a human, because as you can see, I'm doing these spikes here, and these are like, this is like a predictable pattern. So, oops. So that's not actually what we're looking for here, but it's also kind of like, I don't really know how to, you know, get more random than this. Nobody has like a good system for it. Like maybe you can, I wish you could import like a white noise sample here or just something like that, so that it would be, you know, randomized, but I have no idea how to do that. So the more I do here, the weirder this form gets, and the better it's going to be. Yeah, I'm making a new waveform for this oscillator. Like this is basically me creating a new wavetable right there. And this wavetable is supposed to be as random as possible so that I get like a cleaner high end. So we'll see if that works. I'm not sure if it will. But it's worth a try. Well, I think it's safe to say that this didn't work. So the issue I have here is like, if you max this phase knob out, it's trying to blur all the harmonics by randomizing the phase of each individual harmonic. That means it gets a very clean, you know, very clean noise kind of timbre. But you know what? I think we can make it even if this is random. But yeah, actually, I think we can use the prism here. So like if I turn this up... Yeah, you hear that? The prism actually manages to shape the noise here. So what the prism does is, the prism, it maps every harmonic to this curve here. And the more we increase or decrease the knob, the more things get moved up or down in frequency. So if I move this to the max, and then I turn prism up and down, it's basically a pitch knob. As you see on the right, it's moving things up and down. But we can actually draw shapes in there and move some harmonics more than others. So we can draw like a V. It's going to move some harmonics together and move some harmonics apart depending on what we pick here. Yeah, so this gives us some options to shape the white noise a little bit more than we would be able to in other plugins. Now it just sounds like we're on a plane. Yeah, this may be even useful as like, you know, a little snare hit or something. Whatever, you can do a lot of things with this, and, well, yeah. I think the first step to making any drum is probably to have a little fundamental tone. So since we're going for very drum machine style drums, we probably want a bit more of a muted kind of low-end tone. Yeah, that sounds like an airplane taking off. That's just like... of options you have here. So that's the benefit of doing white noise and additive, but it's also kind of a gimmick. I don't really know many uses for this stuff, but thank you for the follow, Wings DNB. I wasn't really sure I didn't really want to have like a different synth to have white noise. I wanted to have everything in one place, so I made this white noise patch for Hammer. And yeah, I want to use it, but we'll see. Let me reset. It's gonna be used that way. So whatever we draw here, we're gonna figure that out, but I'll reset it for now. It feels like, it feels like, when you go through a tunnel and like your ears are like, it's like your ears get messed up. So weird, but yeah. So we'll start with like a little fundamental tone. So the way you would do fundamental tone is you would have a little sine wave, and you will automate the pitch to actually simulate an object being struck. We can get very funny with this. We can make like very trancey kind of drums. Going for today. Dude, bunch of really dumb stuff with this. This is like people who make drums like this, and it's just like, oh, I'm trying to show that I can do drum synthesis. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Well, like, I mean, this may be like maybe like cool, but not really the good kick sound, isn't it? So I'm trying to... There are multiple ways to do this. For example, I could try to do like a band stop here and like filter out the low end. Let me go ahead and I'm going to map the pitch here inverted in an inverted way as well, so that first map pitch, so that I don't really have to worry about which key I'm hitting. It's always going to be the same. But yeah, so obviously this doesn't sound very attractive. So there's like infinite ways to make drums. I'm going to just make a little very basic low end for this drum because I want it to be very drum machine-y and very traditional in a way. Yeah, so that seems alright for that purpose. So another thing that it'll be alright with a much quicker envelope. Yeah, I guess there are like infinite ways to make drums, and there are like styles of drum that you can do. But for what we're trying to do right now, I think I'm trying to like make a very conservative kind of drum hit. Not really something you would use just straight out of the box, but something that could be used as like source material, similar to how somebody would load up a 707 kicker or something like that. So one thing I always notice about these kick drums is they have these they're not just like a clean decay. They always have something like a little resonance to them. So I'm going to try and simulate that using an EQ, and you'll actually notice that the more we boost here, the more we can get the frequency to ring out longer than the actual sound we're editing. So that's usually not desirable, but this is actually what I want to use here. Get a little top resonance there, and maybe lower as well. Let's see. Yeah, that seems pretty alright for now. So another thing we can try is we can try to put unison on it. But make sure that the panning's at 0 so that it's not going to be stereo, because like this, it's a little confusing. It's not very drum-like. And we can actually fine-tune the drum by using unison. So without it, with it, there we go. So depending on what character we want, we can start up using the unison here. I want this to be a little bit shorter like that, so we'll be using it this way. So we need that, and then we also need a bit of a top layer, like a bit of a click. There are multiple ways to do clicks. One of them would be doing it with a compressor, where we just basically use the compressor to generate a little bit of a click because it's reacting too fast to the audio. but I'm not sure if that will sound vintage enough for this, so I'll try to generate my own transient here. So I'll be opening a new Hummer. And again, Hummer has like a lot of options for us to customize the waveform. I'll be able to use this to turn individual harmonics on and off. I don't think I would be needing that much. Got like our saw wave here. And then thanks to Prism, like Prism is the thing that moves harmonics up and down. So I have like my own little thing here where I can move individual harmonics. Enabled, so I think it's a more accurate representation of what Prism actually does. So this vertical line on the graph represents one harmonic, and me moving the yellow line up and down controls how I'm moving this harmonic up and down. So I can move it up by an octave, down by an octave, whatever I want to do. So anything goes here, but for our purposes, we're just trying to generate a little click. So I'll be pitching this down. The approximate range in which we want our click to be in. I will lower the volume actually. I mean the you know what I mean. We're gonna make a short volume envelope of this. And then I'm actually gonna go ahead and reset the prism here because I don't need that much control. And we'll just like try to move these around in a way where they become less harmonic. Tell like from us moving these harmonics up and down, it doesn't sound like it doesn't sound like a melody anymore because all the harmonics are being moved up and down irregularly, and therefore we have a very dissonant or unharmonic timbre because everything's like all over the place. And you'll notice that with a lot of percussive sounds that they don't really have any clean harmonics, which is why drum synthesis is very confusing to a lot of people, since you know, synths usually put out very harmonic timbres. But the point is just to not be harmonic at all. So you can achieve that in many different ways. I use Hummer. You can also use FM. You can use anything. It's whatever you want to do, really. I personally like Hummer a lot because it gives you a lot of control over what you really want to do. But yeah, experimentation is your friend. If you want to do something weird, then go for it. Again, we can use unison because unison, when you mono your two unison voices, they'll actually start canceling each other. So I can demonstrate this if I pull up another Hummer. You hear like that little bit of phasing, like right, so that's just the unison doing its job basically, because it detunes the two waves and then they cancel really quickly. So if I do this, I have like a little click here, like a little lucky thing. Then I can use the phase control to time this oscillation, this up and down sweep. So right, so now it's at this point. And if I move the phase a little up a little bit, sorry. Kind of see it cycle through different things. So that is essentially what I'm going to try to do here to like customize my click a little bit more. It's like right now we got this click. I move the phase up. You can hear it ever so slightly changes character. Right off the bat, we get many different hits that we can use, and it's very easy for me to make a different hit if I don't like this one. I can just move this up and down, or I can adjust the prism. It's very customizable. It's very nice. So got our little punch here, our transient. See, now I can just manually choose the phase at which, well, the unison phase at which it happens to align better with the low end. So maybe I like this one, right? But now I decide that it has a little bit too much low end or something. So I can just dial in an EQ here. And now the fundamental is a little more separated from the impact because I cut away a little bit, so now there's a bit of a gap between those two, but it's not completely killed. And also this EQ right here, It's very transparent, so what you do is literally what you get. You don't get any difference in like phase response or anything like that. It's just you turn something up and down, and that's another great feature about Hammer. You don't really have to use any external tools to do any of the layering because you get everything right in the box. So, got this. So a pretty solid start for a drum machine kick. So yeah, this is quite nice. But let's say I want to add more of a click. So I can take my impact here. And I can like play around with these settings a little bit and then pitch it up. Yep, we all know what I just heard there. Okay, not gonna go there though. A little bit more like a cymbal than a kick, does it? Let me see. I'll shorten this a little bit more because this is like a really high click. You know these drum machines, they have like, yeah, there we go. See that, a little clicky thing. And now I'm hearing a fundamental down here in the 550 hertz range. No, it's actually 800 or something like that. 600, 700, something like that. It's pretty messy. So I'll be working on that. And right off the bat, from just moving the unison face up and down, we get very different sounds. So yeah, I'll be able to bandpass this here as well, inside the synth. And really zone in on this click that we want. So for these drum machine kicks, it's usually good to have a bit of isolation between the actual click and the impact. So, I mean, the click and the punch and the impact and stuff is like a little bit isolated. You have like a little click at the top, and then a huge gap, and then there's the rest of the drum at the bottom, and that gives them that distinct sound, where it doesn't really take too much space in the mix, in the mid-range, but then you have that high-end click and the low-end punch, and that in context it sounds like a drum, even though there's a lot of it missing in the middle. So I'm going to try to get one of these clicks here. That sounds pretty clicky to me. A little bright though, so I can use the EQ. Then we don't really need to use the volume. We can also try using the pluck, but that's a little unpredictable. So the pluck actually allows us to we can set a different decay for every harmonic in our sound. So if we, what's up Comac? So if we raise this at the bottom, then this fundamental frequency will take longer to decay than the top, and vice versa if I raise this and keep the low end at the bottom, then we get a cymbal-esque kind of decay where the low impact decays quickly because the mallet is very short, the mallet hit itself, but the resonant body, the cymbal itself, keeps decaying. Yeah, so that's the opposite of what we actually want. We're trying to simulate a little mallet hit, so we'll be doing, maybe, let's try doing something like this. Yeah, that seems alright. Now let's carve out this click in the high end with EQ. Yeah, that's alright. And that already sounds a lot like a kick, doesn't it? I mean, a drum machine kick. You're into samples, and that's a great project, isn't it? Samples. Acoustic. I'm going to save these as drum machine bass, I suppose. Oh. I'm going to open a layer here and just link these three harmers to my layers so that I can just have one channel triggering the drums instead of three. Okay, so you might be noticing that the drum is quite cool, but it also sounds a little bit average. It doesn't really do anything too crazy. One thing I like to do is I like to delay my drum hits, so they won't be hitting all at the same time, but they'll come in one after another. So for that, actually, I'm going to use the internal Harmer delay. So it has like a little delay option here in the advanced tab. So I'm able to just delay some, like let's say I want to have this punch happen a little bit later. I can just move it to the right a little bit, timing-wise. So what I'm actually looking for here is, you want to have the interaction between the different layers to be productive. So like they shouldn't be destroying each other. They should be supporting each other, these layers. And what happens on a microscopic level is when these 2 or 3 layers interact, they tend to cancel each other out. So like if we do this, right, so you can see like the wave goes up and down here at different points, and one of the layers might be going up while the other layer is going down, and then that's going to cancel in the wave that we have at the end, because it's just like we're adding these waves together. In this case, you can see like the low punch, like this one, it's happening a little bit before the kick, before the click, sorry. So we'll be moving that to the right so that it happens a little bit later. So I'm going to go here, turn up the delay slightly. Right, so I turned up the delay. Ignore that. That's just like part of the previous kick hit. So I gotta record a clean one. All right. So this is clean, and now you'll see this is a lot less pronounced. Like in the previous example, we had a lot more here before the actual click. But I think this one, this layer right here, might also be happening a little bit too early. So we'll be delaying this layer as well. So let's hear it. And now I'm starting to hear some nice interaction from the slight delay that I put on. It's very slight, it's just a millisecond. But I'm already hearing like a better kick hit. I think we're also clipping a little bit, but that's alright. I'm going to add G-clip before... wait, I opened the wrong plugin. I'm going to add G-clip before the Edison, because clipping drums is actually... it's pretty alright. Like, don't be afraid to clip drums. I think... Thank you very much for the follow, RKIP. I think clipping drums is always very nice because, well... kind of part of the sound of drums, like that just gives it a little bit more character, and it helps mask layers together. When you have multiple layers and then you clip them, that helps remove some irregularities, and you have a clean, nice drum sound at the end. Let's hear it. Let's hear that. All right, and now you can see we have a kick drum. We have an impact here. We've got a little bit of mid-range here. You can actually visualize it in this thing. Yeah, it's a is it a spectrometer? I'm not sure. I think so. But yeah, you can see like we have a EQ boost there. I guess if we want to clean this up a little bit more, we could trim the ending of it. But yeah, this is functional. See, this is like a 707 kick or something. Yeah, cool. I like that. Boost it. Cool. So we just made that from scratch using 3 instances of Harmer. Quite nice. Wait, we're not done yet. We have to make, whoops. We gotta make some hats and snares and this and that, and we'll have a lot of work to do. But yeah, so, I mean, let's say we wanted to add a more acoustic kind of thing to this. Yeah, this looks sick. I want to make like a cover up with this. It's awesome. Look how cool this is. But anyway, so let's say you want to add a little bit more acoustic kind of bashing or whatever. I don't know what you want to call it, but like, you know, these drums, you have like a bit of rumble to them. So like, let's say we want to add a little bit of that. We just craft our little thing here in Harmer. We'll just make a little, my friend calls them halos, but I'm not sure if halo is the right word for that. Just a little thing that rides behind the rest. Thanks to Harmer, we can pluck this. Pluck meaning turning off the higher harmonics first and then turning the lower ones off later. But we gotta tighten this pluck up a little bit because the decay time seems to ramp up with the pitch. I mean, the pitch of the individual harmonics, of course. So, oh, interesting. Cool. We don't need that though. That's what we want. See, it's relative. So even if I keep it straight, it's going to decay a little bit faster in the mid-range, which is interesting. That's just some scaling going on with armor, so. And now you can hear the issue with having random parts in the sound. So if I turn this phase knob down, now we have a predictable sound, because when you max this out to full blur, the unison phase, then it'll randomize the phase of each harmonic, which means every time we hit this button, it'll slightly different sound. But if I lower this, we get the same sound every time, which is a lot more percussive and a lot more rummy, you know? Now we want the drum to be longer, we can just do that. So yeah, if we want to delay that as well, we can do that. Whatever you want to do. In my case, I just want it to be like a little background thing for the drum. Yeah, I'm actually not sure. Oh yeah, I'm turned this up a little too. Sorry about that. It's 0. Okay, so for this. Okay, cool. We don't really need that super low decay, but I'll keep it there for... I mean, why not? If I don't want it, I can just make a new one. That's another kick we did. Got 2 kicks now. Very nice. Cool. So we got those 2. Anyway, let us try to make a snare, I suppose. Which is going to be a lot more difficult than making a kick drum, because I am actually better at kick drums than snare drums, because I'm not really a snare person, it's just how it is. I'm more of a kick person, you know? So... for this snare, I want it to be slightly punchy, but I don't want it to be too crazy. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to make a sine wave here, which I do by turning off all the harmonics except for the bottom one. So now we got a sine wave. Let me open the visualizer for you. I should probably have like a little analyzer here that's on at all times so that people can see exactly what I'm doing. Oh, I don't know which one to use for that. We got this, and we're going to turn that into a snare. So again, what sounds do, like if you look at this, got like that little fundamental, and what it does is it's just basically just like a snare. I mean, sorry, yeah, it's just a snare. It's a sine wave that decays quickly. Hard to see, but if I stretch it, whoops, you can see it's just like... sounds funny, but yeah, it explains the concept of how to synthesize a snare. So, yeah, it's just a snare. So we'll take this, we'll make our own sine wave. So it's a little too slow. We can put it up here. Now, the advice I gave earlier with the unison applies a lot more to snares, because in here this is quite impactless and quite cheesy. So whatever. We'll use, whoops. Clearly professional at work here. So we'll be using the pluck here. Let's use the volume, because the volume is a little more precise. I'm going to inverse map the pitch again, so that we can play any key. Easy if I have to press the same key every time. Yeah, and now we'll shorten the volume, because I want this to be like a snappy kind of so I don't really need it to have like that doofy kind of... it's kind of silly, you know, that I want it to be very compact kind of hit. Like that. Go into the pitch menu. Yeah, now I can use the unison to try and shape this a little bit more, so... Right? So that's a lot more... Like, this is clearly just a sine wave. But this is more complex. This is a lot more complicated than the other thing we had. I'm going to copy the white noise from down here because easy access, and put this up here to our snare drum. I'm not sure... Not sure where I should put the respace. I'll put it at the bottom. Okay. Nice. But yeah, he'll just be there for now. We're making a snare drum. I don't actually like this this ending of the snare drum, like this low thing. We don't want that. So this is going to be our fundamental, and then we need to make a little click as well. Oh, I'm not sure what's happening here. There seems to be... Oh, the pluck. That's it. It's very crispy, but that might be better for our snare. I'm sorry if this is loud, by the way. I have my volume pretty low on my my own computer so that I can keep doing this for a while, because I don't really want to have ear fatigue after 10 minutes or something. Yeah, and we have all options here. Like an effects hit or something like that. Pretty snary. Guess the only way to do this on Hammer is just to have this randomized, so I guess that's what we're gonna have to do for this one. But yeah, let me see. They sound quite snary, doesn't it? Make a little click as well. So, just like with the kick drum, we're going to have a saw wave, and then we're going to try and use the prism thing that's moving all the harmonics up and down to to create a little click for us. As you can hear, it's very beautiful. We're going to try and remove the tonality from this. So like we'll be drawing a curve like this, for example. And that doesn't sound very tonal. We could use that as an instrument, but maybe later. Let's put it. Bell. Beautiful bell. Okay, I'm gonna stop messing around. Got a little thing here. I swear, this is gonna be a snare when I'm done. Press exit out. Pretty quiet for some reason. It is very quiet. Oops, sorry. So maybe if I use the distortion here. Yep. Already a little bit more than I wanted. Now, one thing Harmor also has is you can decide at which point the wave should be starting. So if we have 180, it's just going to start at right there, in the middle of the saw wave. But if I put it at 90, it's going to start in the middle somewhere. So that actually affects how this click and that punch overlay with each other. So if I turn this to the right, it's going to sound different if I turn it to the left. I can basically just keep cycling this around and figure out what I want. Bit of a brighter tone right now. Then it gets darker. I quite like this one. Yep, I like that. So again, we're gonna try to play with the delay a little bit more on this sorry. We can do whatever we want with this. It's like insane, but yeah, we can also get some actual effects out of this. So. Whatever you like. Change the character of it with the prism. I'm gonna prefer this, actually. Whatever you like. So when we resample this, we can actually resample multiple of these. All these are going to be slightly different because of the randomization. So if we look closely, I don't think it's possible to really compare this on stream very well because I'd have to like open Photoshop and whatever. But yeah, you can see it in this part right there, I believe. Always a little bit different, this curve, the top one. Looks different on every kick hit. I mean, snare hit, sorry. That's where you can see the randomness of the... which one we like the best. This one is it for me. Thank you for the follow, F4 Horizon. F4R Horizon. Pitch it up and down. Let's say I used that, right? And then we have our little kick. That's what we just did with Hammer. And now we need some hi-hats to make this more interesting, because right now it's kind of basic. Kicks, snares, hi-hats, that's what you need to make drum machine stuff. This time I think we'll be able to use the randomness of the noise patch to help us create a wider selection of hi-hats. Bye, Lily. More quickly. So, hi-hats predominantly are up here, frequency-wise. And for hi-hats, what actually happens is the high end decays a little bit slower than the low end. So if we inverse the plug shape here, get pretty hat-like timbres very quick. Hear that? I'm guessing this is more of a crash hit though, and less of a that sounds more like a crash to me, but we can keep that. I like the crash lime colored. Crash is a good starting place for hats. Start working on that. And yes, this sounds cheesy and weird because we really want that cheese sound. That's the point. Like, we're trying to make a drum machine kind of kit. Something you would find like on a 707 or 909 kind of drum machine, and not really, these aren't like supposed to be cool epic drums or whatever. This is just supposed to be like, you know, something you would find in a drum machine sample. One thing you have to note about these hats also is this isn't just the same sample over and over. This is actually like randomized because of this full blur mode in Homer. So these are not exactly true to what the drum machines would do usually, but it's definitely like a character. And for when I resample these, then it's going to be more accurate, I suppose, in character. So let's try this out. You can use the prism again to put different characteristics into the hi-hat, so like the brighter spots on the right, that's where we're actually converging the harmonics using this wave here. So it's moving these up and down depending on what I said here. Thank you very much for the follow. I own you anyway. So these actually do it live, so I'll put this on the kick. These are just hammers right now, so I'll put these on the snare. Proof that this is real, like this is actually like just hammer. Even though I don't think anybody's really doubting that, because they just saw me literally make it. So, go. What have you been making so far? Just a little. We're just making a drum machine sounds from scratch. So like you hear this, it's actually just hammer. So that's kind of the goal for now. Like, we're trying to make these really cheesy kind of drum machine sounds, and nothing that's like cool or nothing that would be like in a track. Just you know, cheesy kind of drum hits. Yeah, this is part of like my new. It's not really a series yet, but I want to start doing these streams a little bit more where I talk about production, because I quite enjoy producing music. Yeah, and I feel like well, there are streams where I just produce and I don't say anything, and I feel like those streams are cool if you enjoy watching that, but generally, I feel like a lot of people don't really know what's going on or what goes into the music. And also, I find that just making random songs aimlessly is not that exciting. I like doing that for myself, but on the stream I kind of thought, maybe we should like come up with a weird topic to discuss and try to, you know, make streams based on this weird thing, because like, who the heck would make drum machine sounds with hammer? Just grab a drum machine, right? But yeah, I'm trying to make these so I can have my own repository of drum machine-esque sounds that are not copyrighted. So I don't really want to sample some Rolands and like resell them. I want to actually, you know, make the sound. So yeah, I'll try to draw a more complex shape here in the prism so that I can get a better tone on this open hat. Closed hat, actually, sorry. Okay, so actually removing the full blur, I lowered the phase unison setting and now every hat is the same. So if I put it back up, there's like a slight difference in all the hat hits. Put that in here. Got that. Make a stream about 3D granulizer. I don't really know how to use granular synth. I'm mostly additive because, as you can see, I kind of know how this works. But I can try experimenting with it one day. Like if I move this to the left, it's a little unproductive, but if I move it to the right here, kind of seems to just converge here at this point. That creates a very pleasing kind of hi-hat sound. So if I turn up the pluck, then I'll be able to make this longer. That's a little more expressive than just having a sample, I suppose, but yeah. The goal here is to resample. Actually, notice the lower the unison setting is, the more the more FFT style, or what do you call it? It's like chirpy, you know? It's like really a hat. But if I turn up the complexity, a little better. I actually like this when it's maxed out. But yeah, chirp is the enemy of analog or whatever sound. You can mask chirp with some distortion. That also gives it some lower harmonics because distortion tends to, you know, create all kinds of artifacts. So if I use a more ridiculous distortion, you'll be able to hear, like, we've got a little low-end thing here now. Because of that, I'll bring it out with the EQ. But yeah, I don't really want that too much, so let's see if I can... I can attenuate with this. But this is actually fine, like, oh, that's wide, that's wide. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, that sounds the best. Me. Out of all the options I've tried, so... That's our closed hat, and now our open hat. A little bit like a shaker, actually. A bossa kind of thing. What's up, Chaos Theory? Yeah, that's pretty fun. Whatever. So you can be very expressive with this kind of setup, but it's not the point. It's gonna make some really sampleable hi-hat. So like, I'm actually going to go ahead and record some samples off of this. So I'm gonna go from short to longer samples. Quite long, but sure. There seems to be a sweet spot around here for open hats. Now we have it in Edison. We're actually able to say regions, auto slice, dull auto slicing. That'll slice it all into individual samples. Then we can go here. We can normalize them just for. Sorry if that's loud, but yeah, let's make samples. We can export these individual regions and just say open hat. Thank you for the follow, Poe_. And now we export it to that, and if we look again, it just exported all of our hats individually. So if I were to open this here in the browser now, let me see if I think the things get into sliced beats. Wait a second. No, I put it in the project folder. Okay, so let me go export regions. That's what I go and select. Actually, let me just do this. Here. Yes, I need to hard drive, etc. So if I go over here, actually start making the sample pack right here. So if I go into FL samples, I'll call it 182 electroacoustic. We can take these, put them in here, take this, put it in there. We can take that. One. And lo and behold, we've made a sample pack. Isn't that crazy? So if I go in here, user 182, but actually I should. Nice. Anyway, gonna make some more hats here. So now that we have this set up in Harmony, we can actually customize it a little bit more. So we can like go and drag this pitch wheel down. Doesn't do anything. I expected this to be a lot different, but don't worry about it. Thanks to the setup we've built, we have a lot of options here, so I can this, press record again. Now we're recording our new hats. Nice. There they are. Stuff. And again, all slicing, normalize, export regions. Then we'll export them right into the correct folder. No, not that one. This one. That's it. Sample pack number 183, and we'll call this one Open Hat 2. Bam. And instantly the samples are here. All sorted. Awesome. So we can basically keep doing this ad nauseum until we have enough hi-hats. Thanks to the setup we have every time we do this. Let's try to impose some kind of harmonic characteristic on this using the harmonizer. I'm not sure if that's going to work, but we can try it. Doesn't seem like it's doing a lot. Quite percussive though. Like a snare. Add this to the patch, so I can copy this part, go over to my my. Use it with another one, and paste this part in. We got a new snare. Wide. We go to Edison, and that's another snare for us. Much. I can trim off the beginning a little bit so that down. filter this. I can isolate the low end a little bit more so that it gains some. That's a little more legit sounding. That's a little too much. Now I'm seeing like this little peak here. Whoops. But yeah, I'm going to lower that by just EQing it out. So I'm going to lower the EQ and then turn the mix to about 20 or 30%. And that lowers the volume of it. Now we've lowered this volume, we can actually normalize it, and it's going to be louder. But if we want it to be even louder, we can do that one more time. So I'll take this, lower the volume of it slightly. Now we can make it even louder. Nice. So we got that. Save. Save it into the sample pack folder right away. Snare 2. Okay, now we got 2 snares. Cool. Anyway, twist it, tie it, and use chewing gum. I'm trying to reach out a little bit, but I'm having a bit of trouble picking out like interesting things. So if I don't pay attention to something important, then just keep spamming it over and over, and I'll probably see it. Anyway, make another kick drum. Maybe we can make this one a little punchier. I'm going to copy this and move it down. Also, let me save. Let's make this punchier, so I'm going to lengthen the punch. A little bit insane, but sure, let's go for it. I'm going to shorten the envelope here a little bit. Oh yeah, I forgot, I disabled that. Now, I want to mess with this this low end, but I don't want to risk being unable to find this position again, so I'm going to map it to this knob instead and then move this up or down. So this enables me to reshape I can reshape this in any way I want, so... I can do some really dumb stuff with this, but we're here to make some drums, so let's do this. Alright, so now I got a bit of a lower impact. I'm going to clone this click here as well. Put it down. That's already quite good, but I want to have a slightly different character here, so I'm going to... Yeah, that seems solid. You can hear some of the unison artifacting here. Slight adjustment made it slightly better. So I quite like this, but I think it has a little bit too much punch to it. So, luckily Harmor shows us exactly where we're hitting. I can decide that the punch is louder, but the low end of it is a little quieter. That's a lot more drum machiney, but yeah, this is a little too. This click is a little too phaser. Use 1 track per drum. I'm currently trying to synthesize specific drum sounds and then resample them. So this is not really going to be a song or anything like that. This is just a sample building project, and then it's going to be in this sample pack right here, and that's going to be used as source material for future projects. So that's kind of what I'm doing right now. It's just a kind of cheesy drum machine, you know, drum machine style drums. So they're not really intended as final drums that we drop into the track and use. They're more source material for on. Adam, stop bullying the bot. Come on. So I'll try to make this click a little more appealing here, because this is not quite my style. Luckily, there's a lot of options. So if I put this at 0, you can hear that the harmonics are getting, well, they're harmonious again. That gives us that beautiful sound. But that's what that is. It's just a saw, but detuned and then quick decay. Yeah, it's a car horn. No. We're gonna make a kick with that. I don't really like this right here. Or what do I want? I want more high end. Like that, yeah, maybe. It sounds like somebody tapping on like an aquarium or glass or something. Entertaining. I'll put that. Keep going. So this is a little too harmonious for me. Which is what the unison is for. So like, if we make a really short pluck, but the unison is very high, then we'll get a very irregular timbre. Not very harmonious. Sounds like a car horn, right? But then if we do it shortly, it like starts getting a percussive kind of quality to it. I quite like this, but I think I want to resample this and pitch it down. Yeah, I see the problem. I think the drum, this right here is decaying like a little too quickly, in a way. Be like a smooth decay. That's a lot more. Like, doesn't sound good. Huh. A little too knocky. Yeah, you always have to mess with these things a little bit. Oh, that's a little better. But now I pitched it down, so when you pitch it down, then you get a more tighter kind of frequency range to work with. So there's more harmonics here when I pitch it down. Yep. Flip her a little bit. Not quite sure what to do with this one. I'm looking for this smooth shape. Like, I want it to be like a very smooth kind of decay. Really working out for me. This will work. I wonder what's doing this. That's more like it. That's what I wanted. So I'm gonna save a new version here since I changed this. Let's record. That's cool. That's alright. Try more of a gap here between the... So. A little bit less punch here. Maybe if I distort this. Let's see what that sounds like. Call it. Let's record that. Now if I pitch that up, let's see what that sounds like. Alright. Very drum machine-y, but that's more like it. I add like a little bit of EQ here and try to isolate this top end. Create like a little bit of a gap between the top. That's drum machine. That's it. A little bit crappy, but less source material. What do I have so far? I got a little kick. Yeah, that's genius. That really sounds like a 707 or something like that. That really sounds like the drum machine I was looking for. Perfect. Lower the buffer size for this. Can I do this? Yep. Now this should play. Alright. does that go? Like that. I don't know. But yeah, the point is, I think mission accomplished so far. I don't actually know the song, so I don't really know how to remake it. So there's like a guitar and it goes like kind of like this. It goes something like that, but I don't know the song. Anyway, so let me think about it. Should we do a little more? Quite satisfied with these drums so far, but I think there's more to do. Let me see. What kind of, maybe like some kind of Casio, you know, the Casio drums, they have like this kind of weird, I don't know how to describe it. It has like this strange comb filtery kind of high end to it. So if we go here and we actually try to do like a delay. So like what a delay does is it basically just copies the sound and plays it again. And if we time the delay like really quickly, instead of, you know, giving the delay some time to work, then we can actually get some kind of phasey artifacts where the wave stacks up in different places. So if I have my delay up, like that, and now it's just playing one copy. If I really turn the timing down, it's like... Ah, that sounds beautiful. And theoretically we can record that, you know. We have a little... like that. But yeah, that's not what we're trying to do. We're trying to make a Casio style hi-hat. So this is actually not the right thing. Oh, you spin you right around? You want that? No, it's the wrong one. I'm not gonna remake that now because I'm trying to do something else here. But yeah, let's pull up a little comb filter. I think M-comb might be a good idea here. There it is. So a comb filter is actually nothing else but a delay. I use Discord overlay in-game. Beautiful. Go away. Go away. Okay. So that allows us to make different hi-hats, and then if we... Sorry if that's loud. It's actually a different type of hi-hat now, so I think we're going to record this one again. So I'm trying to collect some hi-hat samples off of this synth patch, right? So I'll be recording more from here. Now these get auto-sliced, normalized, and we're going to put them into this. Bam, there it is. Comb filter. A condom is a comb. Alright, I'm not gonna read chat anymore, I'm done. But yeah, so we can try different characteristics here. I quite like this as well. If I put that there, we can add the snare in. But I want to copy this and actually make a Now we have all our patches as we have up there, but we copy them down. We can also route the snare into a comb filter, so now it's going to have the same character. A little different. Well, the impact of it is different. So I'm going to make a different track, put the comb filter over there, and now I'm going to customize the settings. Luckily, I think it lets you set a filter for the actual comb effect. So I can narrow it down to the character that I want. Then imprint that on top of my snare. Here, and change the pitch settings if I want to have a different... I'm looking for more... Wait, what? Sorry. Looking for a much softer, more Casio style snare fundamental here, so I'm going to shorten this. Yep, like that. This needs to be different. I'm going to try and find a nice tone for this. That's a more, it's kind of a breakdown of what this thing does. This sounds kind of cool. It's not really what I want. Sorry. So dumb. Alright, let's shorten this. Sorry if like things get loud, it's just how sound design kind of goes. Like sometimes things that you don't want kind of just happen. I can change the character of the noise using the prism again. Prism moves the individual harmonics around. Pluck shortens the snare. Got a little compact snare going on, but messing with this a little bit. Oh yeah, and I do explain, like, I explain most of my steps as I do them, even if I've explained them before, because for people who watch back the VODs or whatever, and like just try to check out like a short part of it, they don't really, you know, have time to watch an hour of explanation until like this happens, and that's like the sound they're trying to get. You know? Like a smaller, more... I'm going to delay this a little bit more. That's our little Casio-esque snare. Although I'm missing something here. There's like a... So the Casio snares have like this high thing going on. So I'm going to try to imprint that onto the sound with the flanger, using the feedback. I don't know if that's going to work, so let's try it. That's kind of what I want, yeah. You might be like, why would I want that? That's because it sounds very... it has like a little bit of a cheap sound to it, like it's coming from a really, really tiny keyboard, and that's what I wanted to have with this sound. I'm going to save that. Nice. So we got that. Now I can make a new project to make sure I can revert back to this whenever I want. Change the pitch of the flanger and get a different snare character out of that. So completely different pitch of that. Give this a bit more of a delay. Got a different snare. A little earlier now. I'm gonna reduce the delay on that. Now we got another snare. Awesome. So these smaller Casio style snares, they have a lot of weird stuff going on in the high end. So they have like these peaky high ends that don't really make a lot of sense or have like a amazing real world use case, but it's something, you know. It's interesting to remake. I personally am pretty interested in this. I'll save this project so I can revert. I always save a new project in the file by pressing Control N. Yeah, we can get a little Casio style kick going here as well. I'm going to put the hat over here. Pretty watery. It's interesting. That's going in here. Now the hat. Get that character as well. Like that. And we're gonna add a kick to it, a little bit of a low end kick. I'm going to start this one from scratch actually. So we have hammer. We're gonna isolate it down to like a sine wave. Going to pitching again. So I do that by inverse mapping the board to the pitch. Got R2D2, I guess, but it's not what we want. It's like envelope to it. A nice little sub kick there. Actually, all we need. A saw. Pitch it down a lot, and we. Right, isn't it? Okay, we're gonna distort it so that it gets a little bit louder. So soft sat. Yep, like that. I think we can put this kick into the same channel as the hats, and then it's going to pick up the same characteristic as well. Let's try. Got a little Casio type beat going on here. Actually record this beat. Then what Edison will do for me is it will actually like chop all of these into individual samples. This. Press Alt and S. There you go. Put these regions like that. Casio. There it is. But yeah, it's actually not productive to name them this way. Or F5, okay. I can do a run of wait, sorry. I can do like a run of longer and shorter hats with this. This. Okay, I'm not gonna need that. Alt and S. Then export regions. Open hat. Nice. Wait. That's not supposed to happen. It accidentally like chopped there. So I'm going to go here and delete. Resave. Nice. Progress here. Okay, so I've actually thought about it, like what if we added this kind of 909. Wait, do I have this? I do have this exported, but not enough, so I'll pitch these differently. S. Put as snare 6. Instead of leaving them numbered like that, I'm going to go through the trouble and individual, individually named samples so that the pack is a little bigger instead of it just being like one sound, because for resources it doesn't really matter too much. Like, this isn't going to get released as it is. More source material for me to work with. That. Now, what if I put these, this snare into the Casio track? Let's see. Dreadful. That sounds cool. Going to render that. Flip it even harder. Yep. Let me clip that less. That's like insane. What the heck? Alright, let's clip it like a lot. Yeah, that's hard. Yes! Heat right there. Okay, I'm just messing around. Seems like a sufficient clip. Fade this out. A good snare, you have to yell, you have to tell Wub into a cucumber meter and catch. It sounds a little chiptune-y. What if I bit crush this? I mean, sample reduce it actually. Going to go into bit crusher. And now this is probably going to sound like a little, yeah. It sounds very chiptune-y. I like that. Hit the patch a little bit. What the Bit Crusher actually does is you'll see like it's only able to go from, like, you know, usually it would be a lot smoother, but the Bit Crusher actually limits it to snapping into different levels of gain or whatever. So like the higher this setting is, you know, I'll progressively lower it so you can see the effect. Then eventually we reach 0 and there's no sound anymore. So like this is quite normal, and you can see like it starts losing steps basically. Like the volume stat, like, okay, just let's call it like steps. You know, like there are more steps here than there. Like this is like, you can only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different levels of volume here, and then you can only have 2 here. So this sounds like. I like this sound though. I'm going to export this one because it's. Sounds cool. I'm not going to pitch it like this. Whoops. Nice. So we got nothing apparently. Oh, because I turned this down. Going to change flanger. What do you pronounce? How do you pronounce that? I like that, but I don't really like the obvious transient down there, the obvious punch. That before the distortion. Doesn't really sit right with me, so I'm going to mess around with the unison here again to like I'm trying to get the oscillation in a way where it filters out the douchey kind of the douche kind of part, you know, the doo. It's like we don't really need that. Be a little hard though. It generates that little gap in between. We're trying to like use that to benefit. Depending on what we put this unison phase slider at, we're going to get different interaction here on the EQ, on the display. So that seems conservative to me. There you go. That sounds pretty drum machiney to me. I'll record a couple of these. Alright, so I quite like that one. That was the one, yeah. So the degraded high end kind of simulates older samplers that would be like in a drum machine. Again, we're trying to replicate drum machine style samples here, so we're not really trying to make cool snares or whatever. It's supposed to be kind of cheesy and old and like something you wouldn't usually use. Producing these as source material for myself later on, so we got like. How do you freehand EQ like that? Is it a key command? I'm not sure what you mean by freehand EQ. I'm really not sure what you're referring to. But if you tell me what it is, I'll help you figure out whatever you want to figure out. I'm actually going to try and listen to. Oops, sorry if that's loud. Hi-hats. Some potential with the downsampling that I've added. I'm actually going to go through the other sounds. Sounds kind of hard. I'll take that. So whenever you make something, just be open to new possibilities. If you've added like a new layer or like a new effect on the master, Like, you know, I always add the effects on the master that I do in post because then I can, like, use something that I've already done before and run it through that chain again, and it'll probably come out different. And that saves me some time. So, for example, I can take this kick, that there, and I can go in and just, you know, filter out this obnoxious high end. Ourselves a little kick. Click free editing. Shorten this a little bit. There you go, another usable kind of drum machine sound. I'm going to isolate the top end slightly more just to see if I can get a more drum machine. Kind of, but not exactly. Like that. It sounds a little too flabby. Place this a little bit lower. Do like that. I forgot to undo. Yeah. Yeah. Almost there. It's supposed to have like this kind of nice, you know, retro click. Further away from it now. Guessing around 500 is what we don't want, and around 4K is what we want. Yep. That's solid. So that works. I have a different kick here as well. I'm going to use the pogo function here. Yep. Thank you for the follow, Tetrafight, sorry. Well, I was going to say terabyte. Okay, so render that. I'm going to fade out here. Yeah, fade out some of the kick. I'm going to remove this spike by using the EQ like this. Fade in like a little bit of the EQ here. That's a very drum machiney type of sound. Cheese Grommet, I'm not sure what you mean by the freehand EQ. So, like, terabyte. No, I'm gonna say tetrafight. That's more accurate. I have time to say your name right, don't worry. So yeah. I'm gonna run different samples through this chain. What happened? Like, I'm going to pitch this down, and I'm going to speed this up. Very normal. That. Pitch it up again. Alright. It's always really fun to resample these things in post because, like, there's a lot of new possibilities that you don't think of when you're making the sample. So I think what's bothering me here is the flabby kind of low end of the snare. So I'm going to turn on click free editing, remove the low end. That tightens it up because I just cut away the low end by EQing it. Like, I selected the rear part of the snare. That away. Got a tighter snare. I'll pitch that down again. Yep. I feel like that's a pretty cool drum machine. Snare 13? Yeah, something like that. Okay. Is that here yet? That's a tone we haven't had. Have we? So I want to make a little different character here. I'm going to push this up. That basically just everything gets louder. We're just going to mix in a little bit, like we're just blending in the louder signal, which is the same as raising the volume. And I'm trying to get a very nice, smooth decay from up there to down there, so I'm going to repeat that over and over until like that. Here I see like this is kind of unnecessary. Oh, that sucks. I've accidentally cut away the beginning. So I guess I can... Let me run through that step again. Or I cut something away here, but I don't remember where exactly. That sounds good to me, so let's roll with it. I quite like the spike here. Okay, yeah, and then... Doesn't seem like to use any of the preset edit nodes in the... Oh, okay, so what's actually going on is... thank you very much for the follow, Bane21158. What's actually going on is I have the this checkmark turned off, so I'm just using this. But it's the exact same as if I had this turned on. So it's just... I like to have a clean display without anything in the way, so that's why I have this turned off. So yeah, I'm a normal human being. I just make things look different. I like to customize things. I have like this click here. I'm going to filter that down with EQ. Yep. Okay. We do want like a bit of a click because that's like inherent to drum machine sounds. I don't really like the... Oops. I don't really like the chirp that it has up there. Long chirp. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to cut that away completely. Thank you for the follow, Cosmo EDM producer. Thank you very much. I'm going to cut this away 100%. Yeah, like that. Bam. And now, tightened up. Or, whoops, sorry about that. Well, we had this high-endy kind of tone, this really bright peak. That's gone. A little bit flabby here. I like doing this. Probably some sounds in this as well. I cut this away. Cool. Oh yeah, I'm gonna start with the weird noises. I kind of enjoy weird noises, if you couldn't tell. So I'm going to try and apply lossy normalization to this. So lossy normalization looks at DC offset and different things. Oh, this doesn't really do anything. But yeah, I try to center the wave a little bit more and get you a louder sound out of that. Normalization plus. There's like a bit of a flabby kind of flutter kind of going on here. That means I'm going to try and filter that out with EQ again. Here, and like this time I'm going to try to gradually kind of ease, observe like the natural decay. So I'm doing the same EQ pass multiple times in a row. Tighten up the kick a little bit. I'm going to try and move some of the action in the high end from this part to that part. Create a bit of a carving here. Now editing the stack itself to be less flabby, so focus on the tight frequencies here. Get rid of the more garbage ones. Oops. Partial compression. Yeah. Yep, still kind of flabby, but we'll take it. 7. Okay, I have not made any downsampled hi-hats yet, so try that out. I don't want to downsample them quite that hard, so let's that sounds cool. Okay, let's record a pack here. Oh, I'm sorry if I say flabby. I'm trying to say flabby. That's the word that one of my friends uses whenever he's trying to describe like a generally weak kind of badly edited sound, which is a lot of my sounds, so there will be a lot of quality control on this. Don't worry about it. Oops, I just out of. Okay, so we're slicing these into individual samples using Edison. Has a nice script for that. Put that open hat. 6 new hi-hats there. Nice. Oh yeah, that's awesome. I just I don't really want my language to be like strange or whatever. So if I ever say something that's like just inaccurate or dumb, let me know. Still learning. Kind of cool, but there's like, yeah. Alt S. Sorry, I'm not gonna teach you like the wrong shortcuts here. That would be embarrassing. Nice. We're gonna make some crash cymbals here. And the way I'm going to make these crash cymbals, I'm just going to turn this up on the hat. Like we got that noise synth, right? We're gonna try to make this crash. Oida. The way crash cymbals work is the lower frequencies decay faster than the high frequencies, so that's why I have this set up here. Like this is the decay of the low frequencies, and that's the decay of the high frequencies over there. I'm going to draw a curve that's kind of like, we got like a bit of a spike here. Maybe we'll have like a little bit of a body down there. I like that, but it's a little too there. Alright. I think another thing that might be good is like if you have a little low pass that shoots up like that, so. I'm gonna try this again. Like that. Maybe some distortion. Let's see how that sounds. Yeah, let's try that. Okay, cool. That exists, and now let's try a different patch. How about this patch? Oh, that's kind of cool. Now that sounds very crashy. Let's record. Sweet. Take this patch. That actually sounds super crashy to me. Also sounds like a bit of a clap. I wonder if I tweak the prism, what's that gonna sound like? What's up with all the oida in the chat? What's going on? Just what? Actually sounds more like a clap. let's record like a clap or snare or something. I'm going to export these though, so Alt S. Oh, see that's what happens when you when the slicing gets a little too excited. So in that case, you would just go to click, regions, dull slicing, and then we got a very conservative slice. So crash, boom. Okay, and now let's record like a snare, whatever that is. No.
Ladies and gentlemen, former Mr.
Thank you very much.
Volant.
Thank you very much for the resub or sub. I don't know what it is. For the sub minus. Thank you very much. What is this? What is this sound? What is this sound? I'm gonna call it a clare because it's like a clap, and so it's gonna be a clare. There you go. Chord regions, clare. Let me see. What else do we have here? We got. Do we have more hats? Got this. I play around with the speed crusher setting. Here. Yeah, that's what we're looking for. All right, there. Word. That very crunchy hi-hats. Pitch them up, maybe. Yeah, that's absolute heat right there. See, like the pitching kind of masks the bit crushing. Like, you know, before it was like this. Before it was kind of like that, you know, a little uneven. And then when you apply the processing, kind of fixes that a little bit, masks the effect slightly, but it stays crunchy. I like this. I like this a lot. So again, dull slicing. Now we can export all these individually. Put them. All these Casio hats. Oh. Nice. Project for that. Get to this, right? Like, let's see where the could be solid. Like a tom sound, yeah. Up and then have different. This could also be like a tom right here. This different channel. Right, so we can use this overly doofy low end to our benefit this time, because if I use the pitch and I just go like that. Actually starts doing this, you know? And we all know where that's from, right? Like, we all know that. Reset this, yeah. Oops, what the heck? Whoa. Okay, that wasn't intended, but I'm taking this. What the heck? That is hot. That is hard, dude. I'll take that, thank you very much. Let's make an 808 out of that. Where's that again? Alright. I actually don't like that as much. I like the previous version. That's like a snare. For this, I gotta change the bit depth here. Like it's good when the sounds are too similar. So that. What am I doing here? What's... Oh, okay. It's a pan. That sounds like a snare. Snare 14. Nice. I want to have like a tom sound, you know, like the do-do-do-do-do-do. I want that. If I can do that. This... That's kind of cool. I'll be rendering them without reverb so that we have source sounds. Put the silence away because we don't really need that much here. Alright, export regions, Tom, or then we're gonna have to manually rename those, because yeah. Anyway, yeah, I really have a passion for making sample packs and such. It's very fun, like, even if it's just source material like this and not like finished samples. I'm really into that stuff. It's very fun. Why is it named a tom? I'm not really sure. Like these tom-tom drums. No. So the actual name of the drum is tom-tom, you know? So I'm not really sure where that name comes from, but I'm guessing it might be to sound like tom-tom-tom, you know? Maybe that's just where it's from. Who knows? Maybe somebody can look that up. I'm not really sure if... I can really look it up right now, of course. That just sounds like a snare. Like an overdriven 909 vibe. Huh. Maybe that could be a kick. Oh, okay, let's see. Maybe this is Tom. Right to me. A little bit overdriven though. It's low with the volume. And yeah, I know some of this material is clipping, but it's intentional. Because a lot of old drum machine sounds clip as well. Kind of what they do. I don't know. Might be faulty exports from people who upload them. It's interesting though that the lower stuff. Slice it up. And okay, sorry, I had myself muted. I'm not sure how long I've been muted, but I'm sorry about that. I was actually talking to myself, I guess. How long have I been muted? I'm not sure. Whatever, so I guess it's just because of the sound. That's interesting, I never knew that. So the tom is like just tom-tom sound, that's really weird. Not long at all, okay, cool. Yeah, I always get kind of anxious about messing up the stream. Like, I want this to be interesting for people. So I'm just kind of... Oops. Sorry about that. Sorry. That must have been horribly loud. I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Yeah. In before everybody just leaves. Yep. Save a new project here. Yeah, accidents happen. This is live, it's not scripted. This has to be a little shorter. I don't like how long this is. Yeah. Here we go. That sounds pretty sick. I'm gonna record this. More drum machines right there. Let's EQ this a little. This click has to come down. Oops. I swear I'm not doing this on purpose. Okay. Kick. Well, these all sound the same because I have a master plugin on. Actually, all quite different. Okay. This sounds like a cowbell. Okay, export, perk, I guess. Yeah. Actually, from doing a lot of sound design, you kind of get used to having loud sounds jump out at you because it happens so much every day that you kind of just accept it and you don't really pay too much attention to it. You just have your volume low, and if something jumps out and you're like, okay, well, guess that happened. So yeah, I do. I'm always an advocate of lowering your volume. Careful with what you do. Drums are the least fun part of music to you right now. This is inspiring. Yeah, I've already mentioned it, but like we did a sample pack here just now, like, you know, a bunch of samples here. I built all of these from like me hitting like pots and pans. Made that together with It's Bep. Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff. We're gonna be releasing those pretty soon. I'm a huge fan of these kicks. Kicks turned out really nice. I might actually make a song with that today, but we'll see. I don't think I really want a song today, but maybe I think I'll make one tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow we'll make a little techno tune. Stay tuned for that. If you wanna stay up to date with my streams, you can always check the Discord. Get a couple more samples out of this. Let's see. We got a lot of hats, that's for sure. Yeah, tomorrow is Monday. There's school, sure. I always have this thing called Monday Night Feedback, where on Monday people can send me their tunes. And I try to do it around, like, not around this time. I do it like 1 or 2 hours later, usually. So I usually start a little bit later, so that it's like evening, afternoon, or whatever in America, and people can kind of come in. We've been doing it this way for about 10 months or so, and I think that works pretty well. But yeah, I might be able to add more feedback streams to my schedule throughout the week so that it's easier for people to tune in and more production streams. I haven't really been streaming that much lately, but I'm trying to get into the groove of it again, so we're going to be having a lot of content. Some toms. If you can't tune in, that's fine. There will be lots of opportunities to tune in the future. So, I mean, they're not always going to happen at exactly the same time. More kicks, more snares, what do you want? I think kind of percussion sounds. What do you do Fridays? I usually just, I don't really have a schedule for Friday. I just kind of mess around whenever I feel like it. I'm gonna resample some snares here. Filter this a little bit. Zero difference. I'll just here. I think 15 is fine. Let's see how many I got. 9. I'm going to make a couple more kick drums. Probably customize this. Yep. This is a little bit too... That's because of the distortion. Derivative. I like that. I'm going to change this as well. Just make a little less... Oops. Okay, well that was not an improvement. That's interesting. I guess the level scales with the octave. Like the lower it goes, the louder it gets because of some EQ setting I put in. Oh well. It'll be fine. Project. Loud. Reminds me of like Wolfgang Gartner. Would need a little bit more editing though, because obviously his kicks are a lot more powerful than this one. But yeah, let's highlight this, filter that, and let's see what that sounds like. Yeah, there you go. So, kick 10. Nice. What else we get out of here? This one. Customizes this again. Like this actually. Very unnatural and very weird, but I just like the weirdness. That part right there, I guess I can take that out. Lighter. Like that, like that. That's cool. What if I boost this a little bit? I'll try that. Oops, gotta turn a click free editing, sorry. This gets boosted. Super high thing here. I'll take it. Yeah, there's like a bunch of lasers and stuff in there. That's fine. Really, like again, this is like source material stuff. Supposed to be polished sounds. Although if you like them, you could use them. What is this? That on its own sounds pretty cool. All kind of thing. Yep, there you go. That's awesome. That's sick. Yeah, that's a good sound right there. Welcome to drum machine heaven, dude. Boost that 4K. 4K is like really important for these sounds. Super important. That. Yes. Up a little bit. Yeah. It sounds kind of like one of these super old techno drums. I changed the phase on this. So the phase actually changes a lot about this sound. Very 909-y sound here. I am new to music production, but it's a good practice to do things like you do at the moment. Well, I wouldn't say so. This is more a specific stream because I was asked if it's possible to make drums like this, you know, with just Hammer, with just like a synth. And I'm actually producing these for a future sample pack that I'll be releasing. So these are all samples I made in this stream, like these, I'm not sure how many these are. Yeah. There are 95 samples. I recorded 95 samples in this stream. So these are going to be used in future packs. But if you want to get better at synthesizing drums, then definitely practice synthesizing drums. Just for production in general, it really depends on what you want to do. If you just want to make music, if you just want to make songs, then you don't really need to do any of this, because like you can just take random samples that you find or random sounds from the internet or whatever and put them together and make a song. Have fun. You know, you don't really have to make everything from scratch. But if you want to get good at that, then yeah, do practice. Kind of a non-answer, so I'm sorry about that. But, you know, just do what you like, do what you want, and then you get somewhere. I always, if you're interested in this stuff, then do it. That's basically all there is to it. Just go do it. I didn't go to school for this. I just decided I'm going to make a kick today, and then I did it. Weird. This is a strange sound. Yeah, I hope, and if you find this useful, then feel free to watch the recorded video back after the stream, and maybe you'll learn a couple techniques that you want to use in your own. I think this is cool, but it's not really what I'm looking for. So something like that. Yeah, this is cool. I want a higher kind of decay. I'm gonna turn the filter up. Pitch it up a little bit. Now we're getting into click territory. Yep, that's very drum machiney, but I don't like this. Yeah. That's very drum machiney. Again, we're trying to make cheesy drum machine samples here, so we're not trying to make this too amazing. It's just supposed to be like cheesy drum machines, something you would find in like a free drum machines sample pack, you know, just something like that. But I want it to be my own. I want it to be like all original. No, it was fine. Sometimes when I cut the start, it like filters away. Like, look, if I do this, it filters away the transient, and then it doesn't sound very good. So I don't really want that, so I'm trying to keep that. Do this in post. We can remove some of this and emphasize the low end. And raise 4K to the max. That didn't work. That's okay, we have an undo button. What if I lower the pitch? Sounds like nothing. This is the crappiest sample of the pack, but let's take it. I think the peak, maybe it's cool to build an own sample pack. If someone asks where could I get this kick, then you can say nowhere. Yep, that's basically all of my sounds. Like all my music is just like custom built samples like this. I don't really have anything from like, I didn't take anything from any pack or anything. I just custom build them out of small things like that. So that can really make your music more unique and more interesting, but overall, if you're trying to be a musician and trying to write songs, and I would recommend focusing on writing songs and having fun. You know, like, if this is fun to you, then do it. To me, it's very fun. I love doing this, so it's just not really a big deal for me. But don't force yourself into, like, making custom content just to be special. Like, you know, try to make it natural. Try to have fun while you make your custom content, and then naturally you'll get very nice sounds, and you'll be able to... Yeah. Prioritize fun. Whatever you do with music, always make sure it's fun. It has to be fun. If it's not fun, then it's probably not worth doing. Unless you're getting paid millions of dollars. Not even then, in my opinion. I tweeted about that recently. Like, I don't want to plug my own stuff too much here, but you know. Did like a thing about like, you gotta make your own music, you gotta be unique, you can't just like worry about your paycheck. Although music is a profession, so you want to do. I'm gonna try to change the delay on this. Yep. I'm gonna raise the volume. Let's try to high pass this. Sounds cool. That's a little too much. Really confident in this punch. You might be noticing that the tone of the drums really changes when I change the curve of the pitch. That's because the speed of the oscillation of the unison is governed by the pitch I'm using. So if I start higher, then I might be hitting like a point at which the unison is like emphasizing the volume of the sound over here where it's not comfortable. But this is good because it enables me to quickly cycle through many different types of kick drums that might be very good for what I'm trying to achieve. Like, you know, when you have a clean sine wave, then it can often sound too sterile and too clean to pass off as a drum machine type of kick or a usable kick drum in your song. But when you do lots of irregularities like that, then you'll be able to quickly go through more interesting and more organic sounding things. That's why I have this distortion on the master and all of that stuff, because it helps, you know, just really bring out the crappiness kind of like drum machine sounds. Like, you know, those were not like clean sounds. Those were not like amazing, well done sounds. It's just that's what was available at the time. So that's what they used. Oops. See? It just grew in volume even though I didn't touch anything. But if I change this, volume. It's interesting, isn't it? I love it. Like a point where it clicks really hard. That one. Want like a click. Yep. That's it. It's a little too isolated enough. Can I? Yeah, I can do it like that. Yeah, so this is like a compressor. I can lower the lows and the highs and push up the mids. that, but I don't like the pitch of this. This can be a little... Nope, that's like... See, like now it got a little too flat. It needs to have a bit of a decay to it. How are you enjoying this, by the way? Like, do you enjoy watching the sound design stuff? Because I haven't really been streaming this at all, ever. But if people enjoy it, then I might be doing this more often, because I have a lot of fun doing this, so... It comes natural to me. Kind of where I feel at home. I kind of like this, but it's not isolated enough. I'm going to try to put a notch filter in here. Okay, I think that low end might be too punchy. Yep. Right. Sometimes you kind of hit a dead end with a patch. You kind of hit like a dead end, you know, with something. That's okay. That's alright. You can just try to move on to a different patch or reopen an old one. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually open a random old version of this, and then we'll see what it sounds like. Let's hear it. We are. So. Whoa. That's very different. There. Now we can start from scratch. Whoops. Let's shorten this a little bit. And right away we got a totally different sound. Usable. I'm going to go ahead and record this dry. Yep. That click is a little too much, so we'll filter that click down. Boom. A click here. Yep. Normalize. And now our filtering has added like a little bit of a high-end tone to this. Not really intentional, so we'll try to filter that away like that. Oh, we have to turn off click-free editing, so... What I'm doing is I'm always pressing C to turn off the click-free editing, and that makes the editing more smooth, and that avoids the clicks. So if I do this, then it'll actually smooth it out a little bit. Oops. Can you explain something about the layering? Yeah, what do you want to know? Just ask away. I'm ready. I'm always ready. Okay, so there's still some clicking in here. I'm actually going to take the entire sample and just low pass it. Now that makes it sound a little bit darker, but that's alright. We can record multiple different passes of this, and we will get a wider selection of sounds. Like, you know, whenever you end up with a sound that's not quite what you want, that's not really a problem. You can save it anyway, and maybe it'll come in handy another time, you know? Don't have to waste anything. Oops, I'm gonna have to turn down my volume. I want to make sure that we don't have that much of an EDM-y kind of decay. I'm going to filter this. A lot cleaner. Use a layer in the channel rack. Why do you overlap different kicks? I'm not actually overlapping different kicks. I'm actually synthesizing all the different parts of the kick. So I have a little mallet, a click, and a low end. Then together, those are the kick. This is also here. Right? They're all different harmers doing different things. So this harmer right here is just a low-end synthesizer, and then this right here, clicky boy, and that is more of an percussive mallet kind of sound. So yeah, I'm layering these 3 patches to create the kick sound. If I just played one of them, then it wouldn't actually be, wouldn't actually be a kick just yet. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing here. So we're almost done with the pack, quote-unquote pack. I decided to make 15 each. We're going to make some tom hits as well. I'll have to do those. So let's add some distortion to this. I quite like Imperfection by De La Mancha. So this is actually a free plugin that you can grab. There's all kinds of distortion, but I'm going to focus on the quality distortion. Let's see how that sounds. You can see the plugin adds like a bit of a hum. This is alright, because I kind of turned this on purpose, because this is going to interfere with the actual drum itself, which then adds even more character to the sound. So you can kind of see it down there. It's like a little hum that keeps, but you have to fade that out at the end, or else it's going to like be a bad zero crossing or something. Okay, so that's pretty cool. We're going to filter that. Light this a little bit more. This has to come down. This is a little... I wonder if it's possible to select just this. Then, wait, actually, I need... this individual cycle right here. I'm going to select it at a point where the beginning and the end of the selection lines up. I'm going to lower the volume of it. And that worked, yeah, awesome. So that's how you edit that without causing a click. Let's see if velocity normalizing works on this thing. Yeah, so you can see, like, instead of just normalizing it, it also processed the wave to be a little more in the center. Where we had this. Have this. Slightly different. But we like that, so it's alright. I want to mess with this a little bit more. I'm not sure, there's like something I missed something here. Oh, let's just record that then. Process here. This is that too high. Oops, I have no idea how I just did that, sorry. But that's just sound design, it's just, that happens, and you can't control. Oops. Try to pitch this up. Yep. Gonna need that much low end on this. There's also some kind of pleasant high-end sound here. Yeah, this one. Even if it is kind of cool. A little bit fluttery, but yeah, I'll take it. Okay, cool. So, about the tom-toms, let's have a patch. Not sure how this is a hat, but sure, I'll take it. kind of like this sound. Render that. Like you sometimes you just get stuck. Like you're trying to wrap up, but you just find something and you think it's like really cool, and so you gotta put it in. Okay. One thing though, does Twitch make audio mono? No, I just have everything mono here because drums, like retro drum machines, tend to be mono. It's more the reverb that made those drums stereo than anything else, so that's kind of why I'm making everything mono here. Yeah, let's have a look here. Yes, it sounds like douche, but we kind of need that, so... like a little scratchy sound in there. Huh. That is cool. Alt S. What regions? Tom. Record a couple more because I like these chirp sounds. I'm gonna record some chirps. I don't really need that much. Record chirp. Yep. When those are drowned in reverb, they're going to sound more legit. Right now, I'm just trying to, you know, get some really raw drum sounds. And I guess in a future stream, maybe we can make more processed ones. Who knows? So are these yeah, these are just badly titled. That's alright. Change the downsampling on these. Yep. Son of Elroy, follow me. Thank you very much. What's that sound like? Ah. Usable. Let me switch it up. Some floor toms, I guess. Lower toms. Not sure. That's so nice, you can see the downsampling here on the top. See that? Looks so cool. It's like you can see the point at which it gets mirrored. Kind of cool. But yeah. Export these. Does it override anything? No, it doesn't. Alright, cool. Very convenient. What is this hot pepper? So we had the hot pepper as part of the hot sauce feedback streams and such. I kind of want to do one of those again, but I've just been too lazy to change everything back to, you know, visually to what it was before. I kind of like the pepper as well. It's not really descriptive. Yeah, we did one. We did a hot sauce stream back in October. And we can do another one, no problem. I just haven't really been at it. Like, I haven't worked on it. I haven't really been planning it yet. But I think maybe tomorrow we could do one. I have to obtain some hot sauce before we actually do it, because without hot sauce, there's no hot sauce. I like that. It's not my style. But it works. How do I keep enabling this option? The panning options. Alt S. What regions? Tom. Okay, so let me go through here and actually name these properly. So I guess I can answer questions while I do that. What is a hot sauce stream? So we had this idea a while ago where so I do on the stream I make music and I do feedback for other people's music, and we had this idea that if people could donate a specific amount, then I have to actually eat like the hottest hot sauce I can possibly find. So I've been eating a lot of super hot sauce, and it was pretty funny, but the end result was like at 6 or 7 in the morning, I was like in the voice chat, and just I felt like somebody was like lighting my stomach on fire, and it was terrible. I was just laying in voice chat with my face down crying, and people were just in there making fun of me. And it was pretty bitter for me, but it was nice. It was very fun. I want to do that again, yeah. You don't like hot sauce? I'm a huge fan of hot sauce. I kind of like it, but you know, just because I like it doesn't mean I'm very, very good at eating it. But yeah, we will see. Actually, there's a thing called bulk rename utility. I should open that up right now. Hello? I just select all. And, you can actually just go like remove marker no dash. Oh, now they're all renamed. But it adds like a space in between. That sucks. That's very lame. Alright, guess I'll just add spaces myself. Ah. Can't fool me. Can't outsmart. Go. So this is our sample pack for now. Guess you can even make like a little beat with these. What I like. Yeah, so with making sounds and sound sets, it's kind of like you can't really. Oh, thank you very much for watching. You can't really. See you soon. I don't know. How do you say uchi? What? I don't know how to pronounce your name. Sorry. But yeah, when you do these kind of sound set things, you can't really spend too much time on one single sound because then you'll just get stuck and it's going to affect your productivity. So it's good to limit yourself how much time you spend on one sound. Yeah, you want it to be really good, but if you lose too much time on one thing, then it's not gonna be very nice. I'm gonna add like a different. I guess. Gonna improvise something here. Don't expect like the craziest song ever here. I'm just trying to test these samples. Obviously, if we're making that, then we gotta add some compression, so let's go. $2. Or is it $2? Who knows? Okay, so when you write $2, do you put the dollar sign before 2 or after the 2? Because it's $2. It's not $2. It's not $2. It's $2. Come on. Not come on. I can't be the only one who thinks it's just the other way around. Yeah, I've messed around with Ableton, Cubase, anything really. Like I've pretty much tried everything. I just like FL Studio because, well, I don't know, it just works. It's the only reason. Also, their plugins are probably the best. Do you ever use a hardware drum machine? No, never. I mean, I just don't really see the point for myself. Here's, dude. The background of this is I just synthesized all of these sounds in Harmor. These are like processed because I have the OTT on the master. Hold on, let me... But yeah, the point was to get this really... Like, supposed to be like drum machine sounds that you drag out of like a random drum machine pack, but they're all self-made in Harmor. So that's... I'll just make like a quick demo of how I would use these sounds. Just gonna work on this for like a couple minutes, I guess. What do you think is better for electronic dance music, Ableton or FL Studio? I personally like how FL Studio lets you make these loops quite easily. Like, you know, I don't have to think about anything here. I can just like make my loop really fast. So that's what I like. In Ableton, I feel like I wouldn't be as quick, but I guess if you use it a lot, then you'll be able to do both. But yeah, I think that about wraps it up for this session. I think we're gonna go and raid Shroomhead 1 now. Yeah. Also, I'm gonna be hanging out on Discord, so if you wanna check me out and come hang in a call for a little bit, then I will be here. So this has been me, Volant. I produce, I make music, I make sample packs. This has been like sound design session for a future sample pack. I do feedback on Mondays and I do intermittent production streams throughout the week. So thank you all very much for watching. I hope I'll see you again soon. Actually, yeah, let me fix that. Also get ready to spam Shroomhead 1's chat with a bunch of cats and whatever. Just use some kind of cat emote, whatever you can find. Let's spam him really hard. Let's go.